How's it going, everybody? My throat, man. Yeah, I'm back here with another movie review for you. If you will, for me, please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, as always. All right, so I do have a movie review for you. This movie's not really new; it dropped last year. The movie I'm talking about is Longlegs, um, and it's directed by Osgood Perkins. Now, if you remember Osgood Perkins, I actually did review another movie by this director on the channel, titled The Monkey. If you want to see that review, if you haven't seen it already, definitely go check that out. Uh, so, I saw Long Legs. So I got to give you kind of the setting, I guess, of how I watched it. Um, I was watching it uh, in my room with the headphones on and the lights out. So, so I guess that in a way it's kind of the perfect setting for this, considering this is a horror film. Again, directed by Osgood Perkins. Directed The Monkey, which was a Stephen King adaptation. It stars Maika Monroe. She plays uh, Detective Lee Harker, and it also stars Blair Underwood, a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Basically plays like her police chief. Uh, Nicolas Cage, who plays the serial killer, the titular elusive serial killer, Longlegs, and Alicia Witt, who plays uh, Lee Harker's mom, her like crazy religious mom. And so this is a movie about Lee Harker, again played by Maika Monroe. If you now, I kept looking at Maika Monroe in here, and I was like, she looks familiar. I've seen her in another movie before. If you've seen, I'm sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on. Oh, sorry about that. Probably that in. Sorry. Uh, well, yeah, this stars. Um, so if she does look familiar, Monroe, she was in the movie It Follows. She's like 10 years younger in that, but yeah. So the main girl from It Follows, so she's the main star in this movie. Um, yeah, she plays a detective, and they're trying to catch this elusive killer, Longlegs, uh, who might be tied to some really crazy shit, basically. And so, what they have to do is um, they have to find and track down Longlegs, uh, and not only that, but he might also be connected to Lee Harker's past. They're going through clues, questioning witnesses, all that good stuff. And so I will tell you, the main star in this entire movie uh, is the atmosphere, the cinematography. I'm not gonna lie, this movie did creep me out. Uh, Especially Nicolas Cage in here. Nicolas Cage, like, yeah, he's acting all jittery and goofy in here, but like he's acting like Nicolas Cage in here. But I felt like him acting like Nicolas Cage in this movie worked. Um, it worked a lot. I thought like because I know a lot of people make fun of Nicolas Cage because he could be off or on a lot of times. It really depends on what role you give him, what role he's in. But like I felt like in this movie, Nicolas Cage, that craziness, it kind of worked. Um, Especially him being this high pitched like killer, where like I don't know. I just never. I'll never hear "Happy Birthday" ever again. Let me just put it like that. I'll never hear it the same after watching this. Yeah, he creeped me out in this movie. Nicolas Cage did an amazing job. I don't think I've ever seen him do a role like that, where he plays this crazy looking serial killer. And like I said, in the movie's usually like dark and it's moody. Like especially when you see like how Osgood Perkins sort of directed it, and the way he does like certain cuts. You have some far away shots. There's moments of like it's dark and it's like really quiet or whatever. Um, I also like how they like uh, Lee Harker in the movie. She has she may have like some type of sixth sense kind of uh, to sense like certain things or whatever. She notices things like the kill, or like things that may link to the killer that pulls her in basically. So I actually did like that as far as the movie goes as well too. And I think the acting in here is pretty good for the most part. Um, Actually, no, I think across the board is. I guess you could say that because this movie feels more like a weird sort of indie film, and it reminds me of almost an A24 film, but it's a neon film. Neon and A24 are just kind of one and the same, really. They make those weird, artsy, indie looking films. I mean, this movie's only made for $10 million, uh, and it pulled back a pretty good haul too. So, I think it made like over 100 million on a $10 million budget. So this movie definitely profited a lot. Um, so this movie is really divided. There's people saying, so when it came out, there's people saying, man, this is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. One of the scariest movies. And then there's people who saying like, it was that good. Or they're going like, it's all right. I mean, it's not like the scariest movie ever, but it's okay. I mean, it's a horror film. Um, so to be honest with you, so where do I fall in that camp? Um, as I said earlier, I think honestly the big star of this movie is the scares and the atmosphere. Um, I felt like that was directed and framed very well. Uh, I did like Blair Underwood in here. I thought he was pretty good, although I felt like sometimes his dialogue to me was sort of stock police chief dialogue at times. Uh, and then Alicia Witt I thought was really good in this. I thought she was probably one of my standouts. Um, I didn't mind Maika Monroe's character too much. If I had any complaints with her, really, um, I felt like her. I don't know. It was just the stoic acting. I don't know if that was supposed to be her character. Um, I guess there's an explanation behind it, and I don't want to ruin it because it's in the ending. But and I felt like I was a little underwhelmed with the ending because to me, like my thing here. So here's my thing, because I'm in a camp that liked the movie. I do like the movie. It's to me, it's one of those movies where it was good, it was fine until it was time to explain everything. And then I don't feel like this movie stuck the landing as much as I had wanted it to, because once it gets to the ending, it didn't, to me at least, the ending, it didn't make a whole lot of sense really. Um, it felt like one of those endings where like they go to explain everything, but they dump all the explanation like at the very end of the movie, and it still doesn't make sense. Like there's some things that come out of nowhere. Like there's an explanation. Um, Almost all I'm gonna say is with dolls. That's what I'm gonna give you with dolls. There's this thing with dolls, and you're trying to follow it, and you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Uh, and again, it comes out of nowhere. It's almost like if this thing had, to me, I felt like watching it. I was thinking the whole time, I was like, if this thing had showed up earlier in the film and sort of wriggled it along, because I get it. The movie wants to be a mystery. It wants to keep everything a mystery, and it does a good job of that because it doesn't really explain what's going on. It is a mystery, especially with like the weird cuts and stuff like that. Um, how the movie looks super old. Um, the frames the frames looks like a it looks old and crackly, like it's like a movie, like a old style movie from like the basically like the 80s, or the early 90s, where the screen uh looked all crackly. You'll see it if you watch the movie too. um this was free on I watched this on Hulu. Yeah, I watched it on Hulu, so it's free on Hulu right now. Um, but I will honestly say though, uh, it is a creepy horror film. Yeah, say if you're brave to watch it like I did, uh, in the dark with headphones blaring, there are jump scares in this too. Um, one of the jump scares I didn't really care for. The other two were creepy. They scared me. It didn't help that um it was funny because I went back and watched it again, because the first time I was watching this, I was falling asleep, and it was just like this ear splitting scream in my headphones, and it just woke me up like, oh yeah. So, but it does have some creepy moments in it, and just the entire atmosphere looks creepy. It looks gray. It looks dreary the whole time. This is not a happy looking film. And I think that adds to the creep factor as well too. Uh, Again, Alicia Witt is her crazy mom, and she does a good job at keeping you on your toes, because the whole mystery has something to do with Lee Harker's backstory. Um, and I really did like that. But again, I just felt like if they had given her maybe a little bit more personality, I'd been okay with that. I felt like her character was a little underwritten, to be honest. So when they actually do get to sort of the ending or whatever, um, you're like, okay, there's like a twist to it. But I just felt like once they do a further explanation, it's like, okay, this isn't making a whole lot of sense. It felt like that y'all just kind of threw this in here at the end. Um, but like I said, but I will say for the most part, I did like at least 85 to about 90% of this movie, and then the ending to me was a letdown. So with that percentage in mind, because I was thinking about it, what I was gonna rate this. Uh, I will. This is just going to be a solid recommend from me. It's solid. I was going to go moderate, but I feel like the more I kept thinking about it, like if I had reviewed this right after I saw it, it probably would have been like a moderate. Thinking about it more and thinking about how much I actually did like the movie overall, um, the higher percentage of me liked it more than I didn't. So the positives heavily outweigh the negatives on this one for me. So yeah, this one's going to be just like a solid recommend. Uh, so definitely check this out. Tell me what you think about it. This was a really divisive film too. So if you're one of those people who hated this movie, comment in the comment section below, or if you're one of those people who are with me and you really like this movie, you can comment as well too. We'll definitely have the conversation about it. So that is my review for Longlegs. Solid recommend. I'll see you in the next review. Peace.